Good morning, Mr. Debele.
Good morning, honorable members.
Thank you very much. We would like to sincerely apologize to you, Mr. Debele. We know that you were supposed to have been with us from 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Matters beyond our control just arose, and we had to ensure that the process is run properly, and we had to take a lot of advices. But we are very, very apologetic for the delay. We know that it also goes with anxiety. If you are a candidate, we understand. We really understand, and we are sorry for prolonging the anxiety beyond what was necessary.
Apology accepted. And thank you for letting me in.
So we'll just give you an opportunity as a way of saying sorry to you to just drink water.
Thank you, Chair.
That is the water of apology.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Can you, in 5 minutes, tell us about who you are, your belief system, and whether you are the right person to serve as a Deputy Public Protector?
My name is Shadrach Deveila, and I was born and raised at Ranchabeling in Sukukune in Limpopo province. And when I was 3, my twin brother and I lost our mom, and I'm from a family of 6, so I have 4 more siblings other than my twin brother. So from that day, we were raised by a single parent, being our father, and unfortunately we were relocated to our aunt, my twin brother and I, and the other 4 siblings went to stay with our maternal grandmother. And I stayed with my maternal grandmother for 7 years, and then we were returned to our maternal with my maternal for 7 years, and then we went back to join our siblings to be raised by our grandmother. So I was raised under hard conditions of not having a mom. And there is just one thing I just want to highlight, necessary that aspect. In my primary school and high school, I only owned school shoes from grade 1 to grade 4. And beyond that, I never had school shoes or a complete school uniform. So in primary school, there will be teachers who are assigned to deal with discipline on school uniform and all this. So I was always called in staff room to say, why are you not on complete school uniform? And I felt prejudiced by then. And I was like, one day I must change this. And then I went to high school, the same issue continued, and I was like, one day I'm going to change this. And then that inspired me to study law. That prejudice inspired me to study law, and I went to University of Limpopo, and I graduated in 2012 for LLB degree, and then I joined the Constitutional Court in July 2012 as a law researcher to the late Justice Thembile Skweyiya and Justice Froneman, respectively. So I completed my employment with Constitutional Court in July 2013. And then 2 months before July 2013, I was awarded Health and Human Rights Fellowship to go and study for Master of Laws at the University of California, Los Angeles. And then I completed my master's in 2014 in May. And then upon my return to South Africa, I started my practice as an advocate in July 2014. And from July 2014, I've been in a private practice where I mainly deal with human rights law and constitutional law. And in my practice as an advocate, about 95% of the work I do it pro bono. And I've been in my own corner in private practice doing the work of the public protector, and I'll elaborate on that. The reason why I'm saying I've been performing the duties of a public protector in my private space is because most of the matters I've been dealing with involve maladministration in public service. For example, issues of appointment of principals and head of departments in public schools. So I've been involved in quite a number of matters where the school governing bodies challenged the appointments of educators, principal and head of departments on the protest that the process was not fair and all other things. So I've been involved in those matters on pro bono basis, and that prepared me to serve the people of South Africa. So in my office, I've dealt with matters like the right to education. Recently, I handled a matter wherein an orphan from KwaZulu-Natal was refused enrollment at a public school in Polokwane, and the maternal aunt of the orphan came to our offices, and then for legal services we litigated, and she was admitted by a court order. And another recent matter I did pro bono on public, on constitutional matter is a matter involving a grade 12 learner at one of the public schools in Limpopo. He sat for matric exam in December 2023, and then it transpired that his paper 1 script for life sciences went missing, and that affected his complete results. So when the results were released in January, he was not given the full results, and he went to the Department of Education for about a week checking out as to how far are they. And then on the 26th day of January 2024, he was informed that he can take a gap year. And that is when the principal referred the family to us for assistance. And then we litigated, and his results were released on the 31st of January 2024. And he's now studying at the University of Limpopo. So I've been involved in quite a number of matters of maladministration. And for that reason, I think I'm prepared to shift from the small corner where I was only helping those who know about me to a public space where I'm going to serve the whole country, because almost everyone knows about the Office of the Public Protector. So I'll be serving a broader public now, not only those who know me. So I'll appreciate the opportunity to serve the entire country, and not only those who have a privilege of knowing where I am and what I do. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Tebele, just for my clarity, if you conduct your practice conducts 95% of cases pro bono, how is it sustainable? How do the 5% make you to be sustainable of the people who are paying?
Naturally, I'm not a fancy person. I think that is the first advantage. And I'm having a very supportive wife. She's a teacher, and from what we bring home, we can take care of ourselves and the kids. So it may sound not possible, but I've seen it. It's happening. I think the most advantageous part of it is that I'm not a luxurious person.
Okay. Can you confirm your disclosures, what you disclosed in the disclosure form as being correct, and you are satisfied with what you have disclosed?
Yes, I confirm that I'm satisfied with the disclosure.
Do you want to add anything?
No.
Thank you very much. Members, Honorable Mkhwebane.
Advocate Dibela, how are you?
Afternoon, Honorable Mkhwebane.
I must declare that I know you in terms of Rule 30 of the parliamentary rules, that you are the one who took my matter pro bono to the African Union. I think that's what was delaying all this process, because it was the challenge whether I must proceed to interview you. But then I'm declaring now that will be part of the record, and the decision is taken by a collective, not only me as a member of this particular committee. Advocate, you've done a lot of work, yes, as far as the issue of maladministration is concerned, and you tried to be impactful in your work. Can you then indicate, I think as a follow-up on the issue of working in that particular office, being the Deputy Public Protector, being the one who's delegated work by the Public Protector, especially on issues of service delivery and maladministration, but a lot on issues of alternative dispute resolution. How would you then make sure that as an executive, because you won't be a manager in this office, you are going to be at the same level as an executive, make sure that the investigations which are conducted in that particular office are investigations which, when signed or taken to the Public Protector, and also passing through you on some of them, depending on your delegation, how would you deal with the investigation staff or the supervisors of those staff members who then bring the investigation reports which are not a true reflection of what actually transpired, and not revealing certain information on that particular investigation, because it's not you who conduct the investigation, it's them. And on top of that, when the matter is taken to court, not revealing all the records in terms of Rule 53. And in some instances, the very same supervisor not respecting the court judgment or implementing the court judgment. As the executive, how would you deal with that kind of a matter?
I think the first step is at investigation level. The moment I realized that there could be some...
Chairperson, if you can allow the honourable members to give the candidate an opportunity, because they are making noise, to just, I'm sorry to just barge in, because I think I'm trying to listen and they are also speaking.
Thank you very much. You are protected. Please proceed.
I think it's very much important that at investigation level, I must satisfy myself first that proper things have been done. And if I have a suspicion that things could not have been done properly, I would advise that those issues be rectified to the satisfaction of the Office of the Public Protector, and to avoid a situation where reports of Public Protector are reviewed on procedural aspects, and then only to find that they are set aside, and that amounts to wasteful expenditure. So I think the most important thing is that I'm going to try to ensure that investigations are done properly and both parties are heard before the reports can be signed off.
But then the issue is you are getting a final product where you are told every information is there, it's provided, but then there's information which is not there. But that's one thing. The situation where there's a court judgment which says, as the Public Protector, you need to reinvestigate this particular matter, and because all these matters are delegated to the executive, to the staff to deal with, and that particular manager or supervisor is not implementing that, and the public protector is faced with a situation where they violate the court order. The very same thing of respecting the court judgments.
I think the appropriate steps should be taken against such conduct. Maybe disciplinary measures should be taken. But before any disciplinary measure can be taken, I think is very much important for the purpose of collegiality to sit down with that particular employee and discuss the issues. And if there is no amicable resolution of the issue, then proper procedures of disciplinary measures then should unfold.
What is your view about, because 95% or 90% indeed of the public protector is your bread and butter issues, they are service delivery related. How can we expeditiously deal with those matters as the Office of the Public Protector? And how can we make sure that we get the public servants to understand that what is the intention of the public protector in the whole process, so that they are more cooperative and understand that the public protector is there to help them instead of being antagonistic towards them?
I think part of the question I dealt with it earlier on when I mentioned that there is, I think, the issue of backlog. There is a need for case management in that office to check matters which are old and which are new, and how best to deal with old matters. And the question is, what makes this matter to be in this office for 2 years? If it's an issue of investigations, then what can be done to ensure that investigations are completed? Case management is very much important in that office. And then...
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Janche.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Tebele,
Honorable Member.
Have you done some research before this interview today?
Have I?
Done some research for this position that you're applying for?
Yes.
Okay. What's the budget of that office currently?
I think the recent annual report I read is about 356 million, 350.
Are you guessing?
No, it's 356 million, the last annual.
Current budget. I'm asking the current budget.
Yes.
That's not an annual report.
No, it's in the annual report.
The current budget that ends at the end of this month. You don't know, that's fine. Do you know what are the programs that are there in that office? How many programs are there?
Programs. Okay.
No, programs.
The units. I know of three. Yeah, three. There will be programs. Administration and stakeholders and investigations.
Okay, let's stay on investigations. The Constitutional Court in the SAB and CX matter made an adverse finding on the former public protector, that her methods of investigations were flawed. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Do you agree with that judgment?
Yeah, I think...
I see you smiling,
yes,
but I'm
yes,
just asking a question. Do you agree with that judgment?
Yes.
That says the former public protector, Adv Mkhwebane, had flawed approach on investigation.
Yes, I think...
You agree with that judgment?
Yeah, from the reading of the judgment, I agree that there are some loopholes on the investigations. Yes.
And what are those loopholes that you think the former public protector would have committed?
not giving opportunity for other parties to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Tebele. Are you aware of the Mail and Guardian case on investigations, on the approach on investigations?
No.
Okay, that's your homework. That's part of the research work. You can do that
thank you.
some other time. It's very important. It informs how investigations needs to be approached in that space. Now, in your 95% pro bono, I'm just curious and interested. Any of the people who've done pro bono on this 95%, including Advocate Mkhwebane, have they assisted you at least with some accommodation, booking?
Recording in progress.
Have they?
Being Advocate Mkhwebane, being an exception, I dealt with the most indigent.
What do you mean being an exception? That is not indigent.
No. I'm not. Okay, there are reasons why I did that pro bono, which I cannot disclose before the committee. Yes. But I want the point I'm trying to make.
You got my question, eh?
Yes.
The question is very specific.
Yes. I dealt with most indigent people who cannot even afford a file with an attorney, just a mere consultation.
And so your answer to my question is all of them assisted you with nothing?
Yes.
Including Advocate Mkhwebane?
That's why I'm saying
You did a pro bono for her as well,
yes,
eh?
Yes.
It's here, it's in your papers.
Yes.
So please don't run away on it.
Yes.
Just answer the question.
Yes.
She also didn't assist you with anything. No material, no accommodation, no transportation, and so on.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in the case you are doing on behalf of Advocate Mkhwebane, do you have an instructing attorney that would have instructed you on this, or you just got direct instructions from her?
The process in the African Commission is different from the South African legal system.
Okay.
So you'd attain to be yes.
Okay. The Bangalow Principles for Judicial Conduct list 6 core values. Just want to help me with 2.
Thereof.
Core values of conduct. Just help me with 2. Independence and integrity.
Yes.
Can you share with this interview panel what's your understanding of the issue of independence and integrity? When somebody says must have integrity, what do they mean or expect? And as well as independence.
I think in the specifically within the space of the Office of the Public Protector is that you must be someone who is aware of the fact that you will be investigating at some point the most powerful people in the country. And when you do that, you must do that without fear, favor, or prejudice. And you must apply the law.
Thank you.
At all costs.
Thank you. Integrity? You just dealt with independence, am I right?
Yes.
Integrity?
You must ensure that things are done in accordance with the legal prescripts and uphold the law at all times.
Okay, last year, what's your understanding of the perception of bias?
Bias.
Perception of bias.
Is when a person, for example, when I'm a judicial officer and the person I know, maybe I've done business with, appears before me.
That's it?
Yes. There could be a perception that I may favor that person in terms of my judgment. Yes, but it should be actual bias.
How do you remedy that? Yes, go ahead. If there is a perception of bias that exists.
Okay, in a judicial space, obviously, I would disclose that to the parties before me, and ask them if they are comfortable for me to proceed with the matter.
I pause there, Chair. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Advocate Tebele, when you were growing up, maybe as a law student, did you have any aspirations of being a judge?
Yes, sorry. There's a question I neglected to ask. Can I ask it?
You ask within the given time.
Oh, I didn't use even half of my time. But it's fine. You don't want to know. Go right ahead.
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to be a lawyer, and I also aspired to become a judge. And fortunately, last year I was an acting judge in Limpopo. And in fact, when I started my career at the Constitutional Court. And I was inspired by the sense of humor of the judges there. So I want to also end up being a judge of the Constitutional Court if time so permits.
Okay. So when you were doing your clerkship at the Constitutional Court, were you already admitted as an advocate?
No, I started in July 2012, and then I got admitted in May 2013. So I was admitted when I was still a law researcher there, just 2 months before.
So you admitted in 2013?
Yes.
Yes, because it's important for us to calculate the number of years, because it is in the Act.
Yes.
So that is why I was asking it.
Yes, I got admitted in 2013, in May.
Thank you very much. Did you find the interviews to be fair?
Yes, I found them to be fair.
Were the questions reasonable and fair?
Yes. And most importantly, I think the process is very engaging and objective to be sure that the candidate to occupy that office is fit and proper person to be appointed into that office.
No, thank you very much for availing yourself. And most importantly, you were able to speak to South Africans, especially to young people who share your plight, that you can still overcome despite you can overcome those adversities. It was a very important message.
Thank you, Chip.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for availing yourself.
Thanks. Thank you, honorable members.
Thank you.